talk about limited liability companies, or LLCs. Traditionally, to obtain protection from personal liability, business owners would have had to form a corporation, which is a separate legal entity from its owners, and we will discuss in detail corporations in the next lecture. However, LLCs were created as an alternative that is less complex and less costly to start than corporations, and as a result, they became increasingly popular. This happens to be my personal favorite business structure for a coaching business, and I see it as a hybrid between a corporation and a partnership or a sole proprietorship from a legal standpoint. An LLC, it's an entity on its own, which files its own taxes separately from the taxes of the owner. But in the same time, like in the sole proprietorships or in the partnerships, normally LLCs are pass-through entities when it's about taxation because they don't pay any of their own taxes. Instead, the income or the loss from the corporation, from the LLC, passes through each of the LLC's owners. We will discuss pass-through taxation in detail in an upcoming section of the course. But for now, I want you to know that an LLC has much more flexibility. By filing a specific form with the IRS, if your accountant recommends it, you can choose not to be taxed as a pass-through entity and instead to be taxed as a corporation. I know that if an LLC is successful enough at the end of the year to keep some profits into the business instead of taking everything out, paying taxes at corporation tax rates can save the LLC owner a good amount of money. That is because the US taxation system starts the corporations at a lower rate than it starts the individual taxes. This is a detail to make you think twice before you decide to stay in a sole proprietorship structure, and we will talk all about the benefits in the tax section. To form an LLC, it can be pricier than forming a partnership or a sole proprietorship, and annual fees may be needed to be paid to the Secretary of State's Department of each state where you live in or where your company performs in order to be able to function. First, you must file the Articles of Organization with your state Secretary of State, which in Florida can be found online at sunbees.org. Check to see if in your state or country that can be done online, or you may have to do everything in person. In addition to this, you should also file an operating agreement, which can get very detailed and complex and will determine the relationship between the members in an LLC. There are certain websites like LegalZoom.com or Nolo.com in the US where you can get step-by-step guidance, and that way it's pretty easy to open an LLC. But the best way, if you can afford it, is to hire an attorney to draft a specific operating agreement for you. If you choose, and you very well might do it, I did it by myself. If you choose to do all the paperwork and file yourself, here is the IRS Gov link, which will take you to your state's web pages. So you can go to irs.gov and you can find that link, or you can go to your resources and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Also, I've included a list for the 50 states in the United States where you can go and see what requirements are for each state for you to open an LLC. So I hope those resources are helping. We are going to talk more in details about the benefits, the taxation benefits of having an LLC, taxed as a corporation, and we'll also address corporations and then the main differences between LLCs and corporations. So you have a full detailed picture, very clearly described, so you can take the right decision for you.